3, 2, 1. Here we go, people. We are back at you guys once again.
Yeah, we are back again.
Yeah, this time we got a good video for you guys. We are going to be doing a full review on WWF SummerSlam 1993. Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
And the reason why we're doing this is because this is the 30th anniversary, and my buddy Joe here was actually at that event.
Hell yeah, it was.
Yes. Hell of an event. It was pretty good. And we're about to go over this stuff right here, right now for you. So kick back with your pizza and popcorn and your drink, and let's get this bitch rolling.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so it says right here, SummerSlam was the 6th annual SummerSlam professional wrestling pay-per-view event produced by World Wrestling Federation, which took place on August 30th, 1993 at the Palace of Auburn Hills in Auburn Hills, Michigan.
And that's right, it's WWF, not WWE.
Well, yeah, back then it was, yeah. And it says it featured 10 televised matches, but there actually was 11 matches, the first one being a dark match, which we're going to be going over here in a second. And Vince McMahon and Bobby Heenan, they were commentators for this whole event.
Yeah.
Jim Ross and Gorilla Monsoon, they were commentating only for, from what I've seen here, radio WWF. Yeah. So they weren't. They were there, but they weren't really on the DVD. You know.
Yeah, you know what, some dude, going to SummerSlam was the first wrestling event I ever went to in my life.
Man, how old were you at the time? Like 14, 15?
Yeah, I was 14, probably going on 15.
That's right. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, must have been cool, man, because it was a cool event and 30 years ago.
I didn't know until like a week before that I was going. My cousin got tickets to go, and they were like, "Hey, you want to go?" And I'm like, "Hell yeah!"
Of course.
Yeah.
You're a big wrestling fan, or I should say, huge wrestling fan, especially back then.
You want to know what's funny? You watch all the events, you watch all the shows, and you always hear the commentary throughout it.
Right.
When you're at the wrestling event, you don't hear the commentary. Like, you just like, you always thought like maybe in the arena you would hear the commentary or something.
You don't.
You don't. I'm like, okay, so, but
you hear the people cheering and stuff like that.
Yeah. The only bad thing, like, we didn't get like that good of seats. Like, we got pretty up there by near the rafters and stuff. And I remember like we brought a pair of like binoculars. I had to keep really like we'd go looking through and watch it, so I could really see the matches going on.
Right. Because I noticed they didn't have like they do now. Like they'll have a screen from above pulled down where you can see it.
Yeah, and you can see what's going on.
But back at that event, they didn't have that.
No.
So
it was still cool regardless.
Oh yeah, it had to have been fun.
I mean, like being your first, being a fan of wrestling all my life, and then getting to go to, my very first pay-per-view, and thinking, oh man, this is going to be epic, and
right.
I remember walking in, and there was a couple wrestlers actually out there standing around, but it was like, one was like the Brooklyn Brawler.
Yeah.
I think Owen Hart was even out there, and this and that, and we kind of just walked on by to go find our seats, see where we're going to be at, this and that.
So you got a chance to kind of walk by wrestlers then.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
That's cool, and so we went and found our seats, sat down, and after a while they kicked things off, like you said, with the dark match,
which we're about to get into right now.
Yeah.
So hold on, there was 11 matches, 10 televised matches, but there was a dark match, being the first match between Owen Hart and Barry Horowitz, which lasted 8 minutes and 32 seconds from what it says here. And this match is, obviously, it's not on the DVD, and I tried to look it up to see if maybe it was on YouTube, couldn't find it. So I don't know nothing about this match, but you were there, so tell us all what you remember about that match.
Well, to be honest, just being that it's 30 years ago, I don't really remember much of the match. Like, I remember the match happening. I remember Owen Hart winning.
Right, he did defeat Barry Horowitz.
And all it was is, like, the match was like just to pump the crowd up for when they off SummerSlam, the crowd would already be like, yeah!
Right, it's a hype match, people. It's to get you hype. Maybe one day they'll do like a Owen Hart on-release DVD set, and they'll put that match in there, which would be cool. Because even though it's not televised, it definitely got recorded, Yeah.
That was when Owen Hart had his whole different outfit that he used to wear. He wore like a blue, outfit, and before he started doing the outfit that he wore the rest of his career with, and old Barry Horowitz, 3 years or 2 years before they ever really did anything with him in WWF. Like he was always a jobber, and then I remember they pushed him for a bit in '95, to get a few wins and stuff. But he was a cool wrestler.
Yeah. So all in all, what were your thoughts on the match? Did you like it? Was it average?
It was just, to me,
hype match.
Really, your basic, mid-card against a jobber type match, and you pretty much knew from the start of the match, like, who was going to win. Obviously, you don't see Barry Horowitz win the match.
Right. They did wrestle each other quite a few times.
Yeah.
But this one was a dark match. This is to hype the people up. So
and then they went from that match. They got what's funny to be there in person and instead of watching it on TV, like you see like everything. Like you see like even after like the match, you see like them like going off to the backstage and then waiting for like mid, and they start opening the show with SummerSlam, and you see like they have Bobby Heenan and Vince McMahon standing with the camera clearly on them, so they're like the opening for it. Yeah,
it was on them quite a few times during the event. I mean, I just watched the DVD the other day to get refreshed on everything. So they were commentating. Let's get into the second match here, which
before we get into the second match.
Sure.
I do want to say this. I do remember when we went in. I went to the concession stand and to merch, and I bought out of all things I bought a replica foam Undertaker urn, and a pair of Bret Hart sunglasses.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What about cotton candy? Because I noticed some people out there with big things of cotton candy walking around.
they never. You want to know something was weird?
Yeah.
I seen them walking around down below us,
but they never came up above.
Nobody ever really walked up our way with it.
Oh, okay, got you. So where exactly were you? So that everybody knows, you were up above.
Yeah.
Far to the far back.
Yeah, if you were to watch where I was facing where the entrance was.
Right.
When you come up to the curtain.
You were the opposite end, far up.
Barely up, up in the near balcony.
Right.
But I mean, at least I said, hey, I was there.
Right. That's awesome.
And I remember I got that stuff. I remember my cousin Brian bought this big foam Tatanka tomahawk thing, and I remember we made some signs. I actually made some signs to hold up, thinking hopefully they would catch it. I made a Jerry the Burger King Burger King sign, and I made a rest in peace Giant Gonzalez sign.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
And I remember when we came in, I had my things folded up, and the person checking us in was checking people's signs to make sure it wasn't no improper signs or something like that.
Right. Well, yeah, they got to do that.
Yeah, because you don't want somebody. I remember at a WrestleMania, somebody had a sign when Bret Hart was walking backstage. It said something that said Bret the Shit Man Hart. I was like, wait, how the fuck did they get through the damn security with that sign?
That's funny. Damn.
And I mean, you clearly see it on camera when Bret Hart's walking back. You see the sign saying Bret the Shit Man Hart. Like,
that's messed up.
I'm like, what the fuck?
That is messed up. But yeah, going on to the second match of the night, which is actually the first televised match, which is between Razor Ramon and Ted DiBiase.
Ooh, the bad guy, Chico.
Which went on here for 7 minutes and 32 seconds. It wasn't that long of a match.
Yeah.
I would say, in my own opinion, it was an alright match. It didn't feel like nothing great or, off the wall. It just felt like, okay, just a normal match.
Well,
it was good.
They did a storyline, build up to that match. Like,
right.
And I guess that was just the total payoff of it, because DiBiase was talking shit to Razor because he lost to the 1-2-3 Kid, and was like, you lost to a jobber, punk.
Right,
right. And was laughing at him because he lost like $10,000 to him, and was embarrassed time and time again. And $1 Million Man had a match with the 1-2-3 Kid, to where he was just like showing like Razor, like, you got beat by this kid, you beat the hell out of him, and Razor came out and distracted him, and the 1-2-3 Kid like crucifix pinned him, and he was like, Razor like laughing at DiBiase after losing, like, you lost to dude now, punk.
Right. So they end up wrestling at the SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Now, what are your memories of that match?
It was pretty good. It was back and forth. I remember.
Right.
Remember Razor hitting his typical moves on DiBiase, like the fall away slam, the big right hands, and all that stuff.
Well, from what it says here, also it says DiBiase got off to a quick start by attacking Ramon before the match began. Yeah. And then it says Razor Ramon quickly turned the match around with several clotheslines.
Yeah. He always loved doing those fucking clotheslines.
Oh, yeah. And in the end, Ramon ended up winning the match.
With the Razor's Edge.
With the Razor's Edge, yep. Of course, he's going to put him on him, man. So, yeah, I thought it was a good match. I didn't think it was nothing great, but it was just a good match. And wasn't this his last match?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty much his last match, because after a while he went to like a match. He went to a commentator at first. I remember him commentating.
Yeah, the $1 Million Man.
Yeah, the 1994 Royal Rumble, and then in '94 he started his $1 Million Corporation fucking team by getting like Nikolai Volkov, IRS, King Kong Bundy, Tonka, getting all them to fucking join up.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah.
But as far as wrestling goes, like, I believe that was his final match with
WWF.
Yeah.
Right on. And so now we're going to be going on to the third match of the night, which is the Steiner Brothers. Or no, I should start out by saying this is a tag team match for the WWF Tag Team Championship. The Steiner Brothers against the Heavenly Bodies, with Jim Cornette is at their side as well.
No, you need to do it more like Howard Finkel does it, like this matchup.
I don't think I could be that good.
I could be there too.
But actually, I like this match. This was a good match. The Heavenly Bodies started in on the Steiner Brothers, man. They really started to wreck them right at the beginning.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. The Heavenly Bodies, they attacked them. It says right here the Bodies executed several double team maneuvers on Rick Steiner, which is true. Yep. Scott tagged in, took control of the match. Jim Cornette got involved by hitting Scott in the throat with the tennis racket. Yeah, I remember that.
Jim Cornette always with the fucking tennis racket.
Right. Let's see here. How long did this match go? This match was 9 minutes and 28 seconds.
Man, it was that short?
Yeah.
I felt like it was longer than that.
So from what you can remember, did you like this match?
Always, dude. I mean, hell, Steiners, I always liked the Steiners, dude. Like,
oh, yeah.
I mean, like I said, in that situation, like, I knew the Steiners were probably going to retain because, I mean, as good as the Heavenly Bodies were, I didn't, like, being a wrestling fan, you didn't really kind of see them losing to the Heavenly Bodies.
Right. And I remember, Scott Steiner, he did hit the Frankensteiner on one of the wrestlers, and then Rick got the pin. So the Steiner brothers end up winning. They defeated the Heavenly Bodies.
Gigolo Jimmy Del Rey and the Doctor of Desire, Tom Pritchard.
Yes. Hell yeah.
That's when you know you're a true wrestling fan, when you can remember those gimmicks. Not just the gimmick tag teams, but their gimmicks. Like, they didn't just wear the Heavenly Bodies. Jim Cornette would always introduce them as the Doctor of Desire, Tom Pritchard, and the Gigolo Jimmy Del Rey. The Heavenly Bodies. They were Smoky Mountain Wrestling for a long time, and they were like several-time World Tag Team Champions with that company.
Oh, that's cool. Hell yeah. And so now we're going to be moving on to the fourth match of the night, which is a singles match for the WWF Intercontinental... Am I saying that right?
WWF Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah, championship. Between Shawn Michaels and Mr. Perfect.
You know what's funny? I actually do have some very funny memories of this fucking match, but not the match. I remember arguing with the guy sitting below me about who's better. Like, I was cheering for Perfect, and he was like, "Nah, man, Shawn Michaels got this." I'm like, "No, he don't. Shawn Michaels is a punk," and he's like, "Oh yeah." I was arguing with the fucking girl. I was like, "Oh, Perfect." And,
now, as far as this match goes, I thought it was a good match, but I thought it was a little bit slow at times. It looked like Shawn Michaels was standing there waiting for Mr. Perfect to pull off a few moves. I noticed. Yeah. He's like anticipating, waiting for certain moves. I felt like it should have been a little bit faster when it came to that stuff. But all in all, it was a good match, and Diesel was there, Kevin Nash.
Yeah, remember Diesel got involved near the end and got fucking Shawn disqualified. Typical bullshit.
No. Shawn didn't get disqualified. Mr. Perfect, he lost by countout.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
For some reason, all these years, I remember, I thought Diesel came in and caused like a disqualification or something.
No, it might have been another match, but definitely not this one. Mr. Perfect lost by countout. And this match went on for 11 minutes and 20 seconds.
That was a good matchup.
You got two great wrestlers. The match was good. I didn't feel like it was nothing great, but it held up good. Like I said, it felt like a little slow at times, and Diesel did get involved here and there to mess with Mr. Perfect.
You know what's funny? I remember watching like WWF Superstars like a week before SummerSlam.
Right.
And Shawn Michaels was out there beating up a jobber wrestler and beat him with a pile driver, and after the matchup, like, he picked the guy up and like was holding him from behind, and Diesel was getting ready to nail him, and Bobby Heenan like is on commentating. He goes, "All right, check this out here. "You're Mr. Perfect," and fucking Diesel like nailed him in the gut. He's like, "They take that, Mr. Perfect." And Jim Ross is like, "Oh, he just buried the right hand. He could have broken the kid's ribs there."
Good stuff. So now we are on to our 5th match of the night, which is IRS takes on the 1-2-3 Kid in a singles match, which was a decent match. I felt that it was all right. IRS ends up defeating the 1-2-3 Kid in 5 minutes and 44 seconds.
That shocked me because they were building. This was right after they were building him up of beating Razor Ramon, beating the $1 Million Man, and then he loses to IRS at SummerSlam.
Right.
Like I mean, I kept thinking I thought they were going to have him beat IRS, and then like IRS nailed him 1, 2, 3. I was like, wait, what?
Oh yeah, he's a bigger guy.
Yeah, dude, you want to know something fucked up about IRS? The guy never had theme music.
Right.
Like, how everybody would come out to like theme music? He would come out to nothing. Like, he'd either come out to nothing, or he'd have the mic just shit talking to fans. It's like, it's time to pay your taxes.
Yeah. I need to watch the DVD again because I don't recall that part. But even the 1-2-3 Kid did get in several good kicks on IRS during that match, which was pretty cool.
He was always good with his fucking kicks, man. Like,
Oh yeah, jump kicks.
Pretty good. Yeah. Like roundhouse kicks and shit.
Yeah, and all that good stuff. But yeah, it was a singles match. 1-2-3 Kid was defeated in 5 minutes and 44 seconds.
Yeah.
Now on to...
Yeah. It's funny how you see the times of all these matches. It's like, man, these all seem like pretty short matches.
Yeah,
like,
there are a few short ones on there.
Like, every match you said has been like 9 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes. It's like, yeah.
Right. Most are under 10. But now we're into our 6th match of the night, where this actually gets pretty interesting. Bret Hart was supposed to take on Jerry Lawler, but he came out with a crutch and all that, so he ends up having to wrestle Doink the Clown in a singles match. And Jerry comes out with the microphone, trashing his family, and Owen Hart's there with his other brother. Then he's like, "Oh, they have beef at that time."
Oh yeah, they started having beef at fucking King of the Ring a couple months before that. Like, Bret Hart won the King of the Ring, and Jerry Lawler beat the fuck out of him afterward and destroyed his whole like crown and cape and shit. Like, I'm the only king of the World Wrestling Federation.
Right. So yeah, he ends up having to take on Doink the Clown. The match went on for 9 minutes and 5 seconds. He ends up defeating Doink the Clown, and then he ends up wrestling Jerry Lawler because he was faking it.
Yeah.
He was faking the injury, and the guy told him, "Look, you either go in there or you're done."
Yeah, it's like,
right. So that whole thing was pretty. The match between Bret and Jerry Lawler then went on for 6 minutes and 32 seconds, where Bret actually beat Jerry Lawler.
Yeah, but didn't want to release the sharpshooter.
Yeah, he would not at all release the sharpshooter, and he kept it on him for a long time. They're trying to get it off of him.
And they finally told him, like, you either release it or we're reversing the decision.
No, actually, they finally got it off of him, and then they disqualified him. So Jerry Lawler, from what I've seen in my DVD, he got disqualified, and so he lost the match even though he won.
Yeah,
which is
I do remember that. I remember Jerry Lawler coming out when they hit his music, and you see him coming out like on crutches, and when he got on the mic, that's when you could hear him like on the mic saying like, "You wouldn't believe what just happened. I was coming here tonight, and some old lady on the highway pulled out in front of me, and it caused a 10-car pile up, and I crawled my way out of the flaming wreckage to get here."
all this BS. But all in all, I thought it was a cool match that he had with Doink and Jerry Lawler. It held up good. It was cool.
Yeah.
You know,
that match that turned the career of Doink the Clown, because shortly after that he became like a fan favorite.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, he's well known back then. Which is cool. Right. And I remember when I was watching the DVD, Doink had come out with a bucket and he threw confetti on people, and then he threw the bucket of water at the Owen brothers.
Yeah. Oh, dude,
that was funny as hell.
Oh yeah. But that was, I mean, it was cool to see Bret Hart competing in 2 matches, like one after the other, like fighting Doink, and then getting a match with Jerry Lawler, and
right.
It's like, damn, man, like. I think that was the first time in a long time that you saw somebody just, instead of competing in one match, had to work like back-to-back matches.
Right. Well, yeah, decent job. So that was the 7th match when he wrestled Jerry Lawler.
Yeah.
And then the 6th match before that with Doink the Clown. So now we're on to the 8th match of the night.
Ooh,
which is Louis Borga versus Marty Jannetty. This is a singles match that only went on for 5 minutes and 15 seconds.
Boy, dude, honestly, like, even, like, I can remember, knowing for a fact that you knew Borga was going to win.
Oh, yeah, he's a much bigger guy.
I mean, plus, they were trying to, build him up to, like, they had, from what I read, they originally had a plan, like, they wanted to build Lex Luger up to be WWF champion, and then build Borg up to be a monster fucking heel, right. and then and have, because like I said, Vince had the idea of trying to make Lex Luger his fucking like new Hulk Hogan, like,
right.
Like, oh, this could be interesting. Put the belt on Luger, build up Borga. Oh, that match of the century right here.
Right. So yeah, Borga pretty much dominates Marty during this match.
Oh yeah.
Marty does come off with some good moves and whatnot, but man, he just gets wrecked through pretty much most of the match and defeats Marty by submission.
Yeah, did the fucking backbreaker.
Lights out.
Yeah.
And it was a pretty short match, only 5 minutes and 15 seconds, like I said.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that dude's just a big dude,
Yeah.
Back then.
He destroyed Marty Jannetty there, and then, like I said, he wound up fucking. It's weird. He didn't really. I mean, they had him beat people, but I remember like him just basically destroying like mid-carders, like.
Right.
I remember him beating Virgil, beating Marty Jannetty. He beat somebody else that he fought that he destroyed, and then eventually he was the first one to ever beat Tatanka.
Well, right now.
And then the build up to that, and by January of '94, he broke his ankle, and bye.
You're out of here.
Yeah.
That's what happens with a lot of injured wrestlers. If you're injured, you're axed out.
They actually found the footage of the match that Borga broke his ankle in.
Oh, really? I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, he was in a match with one of the Steiner brothers, and they were on the floor. And I think like the Steiner brother went to tackle him on the floor when he did his ankle, like they said his ankle like twisted and broke as he was going down. But I was surprised he let a fucking broken ankle finish his WWF career.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, but that's what happens.
But
on to the next match of the night.
Yes, sir.
Which is match number 9. This is a Rest in Peace match. The Undertaker versus the Giant Gonzalez.
Oh, yeah.
Which Gonzalez had Harvey Wippleman by his side, and then eventually Paul Bearer came out.
Yeah. I remember what was so funny. I remember my cousin Brian, who was several years younger than I was, was at the event.
Right.
And when they did the Undertaker's entrance and the lights went out.
Oh yeah, that was cool as hell, man.
My cousin Brian was freaking the fuck out.
Yeah.
Like he was grabbing a hold of me, making sure that I was still next to him. I'm like, Brian, yeah, I'm cool. I'm right here, dude. I'm right here.
Right.
It's okay.
Yeah. I remember when I watched that on the DVD the other day. I was like, oh man, this is.
It is true. Like when he comes out, the whole arena just goes fucking dark.
Yeah. It's like the best entrance ever, man. The music and all that.
And that dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, I loved it, man. That was cool.
Yeah.
But during that match, it seemed like Giant Gonzalez was, somewhat getting the better of the Undertaker. I want to say through the most part.
You gotta figure Giant Gonzalez was damn near 8 foot tall.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
And Undertaker was not small by no means.
Yeah, but he was definitely bigger than the Undertaker.
Yeah, and from what I heard a lot about it, Giant Gonzalez was hard. Even though he had that size, he just didn't really have that wrestling ability.
Right, that's true.
He was kind of almost the Great Khali in a way.
Right. He got the size, but he just doesn't have the ability to wrestle that well.
I remember when they did the entrances. I held up my rest in peace not Jerry Lawler, but my rest in peace Giant Gonzalez sign, and held the foam urn up next to it. It's like, yeah. I don't ever remember what the fuck happened to that urn, man, but I held on to that thing for a long time. And
too bad you didn't still have it, man. Might be worth money.
Yeah. I think what wound up happening to it over time, because they molded 2 pieces of foam and just kind of together, and over time that it just it split in half.
Oh, yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, but it was so cool. I used to always do my Paul Bearer gimmick with the urn in my hand, oh yes, my Undertaker.
Hell yeah. But yeah, at some point during the match, it looked like Undertaker was, kind of losing, and then Paul Bearer comes out. And when he does, Harvey Wippleman tried to attack him, but Paul Bearer gives him a clothesline.
Yeah, well, dude, everybody thought that Paul Bearer was, nobody really remembers Paul Bearer before being Paul Bearer. He was a fucking wrestler. He wrestled in fucking world class and stuff like that.
Yeah, probably years and years beforehand.
Yeah, he was known as Percy Pringle.
Right.
But I'm saying, he knew how to, he wasn't just some
average
chubby,
guy.
freaky little guy. He could defend himself if it came to it,
Right. And they were saying when he came out, he's back. They can't believe it. So something must have happened beforehand where he was gone for a while.
Yeah, I don't.
Because I don't remember.
Yeah,
something happened where he was absent, I guess, because the way they made it sound during the event, oh my God, he's here,
I think he was attacked by Giant Gonzalez or something, because.
Okay.
I remember what started their feud was at the 1993 Royal Rumble, when Undertaker was out there dominating, and all of a sudden you just see Giant Gonzalez come out, and they show it, and people were like, "What?" Bobby Heenan doing his classic, "Who the hell is that?"
Yeah, and so at some point, Paul Bearer, he raises that urn, and that raises the Undertaker, and the Undertaker ends up, defeating Giant Gonzalez.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool. And that match, like I said, was 8 minutes and 4 seconds.
You know what would have shocked me is if he would have actually hit the tombstone pile driver on Giant Gonzalez.
That would have been a trip, dude.
What did he win with? Didn't he win with a clothesline or something?
I don't remember. I should have wrote that down.
A clothesline or something and got him, but yeah, Undertaker winning at the end, and like it's just like this,
Yeah, he does. It says here he attacks Gonzalez with a flying clothesline to win by pinfall.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I forgot. After the match, Gonzalez turned on Wimpleman and attacked him with a choke slam. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then that was going to start a whole thing where Giant Gonzalez was going to turn fan favorite. I think they said Harvey Wippleman was supposed to bring Kamala in to feud with Giant Gonzalez, but then next thing you know, Giant Gonzalez was gone, and Kamala wound up being the next feud for the Undertaker.
Right. Good stuff, man. But yeah, it was a decent match. I liked it. So now on to match number 10 of the night, which is a 6-man tag team match. We got Tatanka and the Smoking Guns against Bam Bam Bigelow and the Head Shrinkers. And
you did. Hey, my bad. Hey, I just realized something. I kind of fucked up. It wasn't Kamala that he brought in was going to feud with them. It was they brought in Mr. Hughes that was going to be for some reason I don't even remember what happened there. You remember they were going to start a thing, and the next thing you know, Giant Gonzalez was gone.
I don't know. It was so long ago, man. People came and go big time back then,
Yeah, but I'm saying he never worked. Even though they were going to turn Giant Gonzalez fan favorite, I don't remember him ever even working a match after that as a fan favorite. I remember them doing where he came out to confront somebody, and then it's made you think that they were gonna feud, and then it was just that was the last you ever heard of him.
Right.
But
moving on now to match number 10.
Yes, sir.
Which, like I was saying, we got a 6-man tag team match. Tatanka and the Tatanka and the Smoking Guns, Billy and Bart, against Bam Bam Bigelow and the Head Shrinkers.
You got the future Mr. Ass, Billy Gunn.
Yeah, and we have Luna Vachon was there as well.
Yeah.
And let's see here. This match was pretty cool. I like the fact that during the match, Tatanka actually did body slam Bam Bam Bigelow.
Yeah, dude, he had power.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah. I think he was a bodybuilder back in the '80s because I seen pictures of Tatanka in the '80s and he looked muscled up big time.
Yeah.
I mean, way better than he did look in WWF times in the '90s.
Yeah. Well, you know
he
what?
was kind of ripped in the '80s.
Yeah. Even when he first started, he was ripped, and then over time, you notice he started near 94 and all that, you just started seeing him pack on weight and stuff.
Right, he's kind of slowly losing the muscle and packing on weight as time went on.
I think he was doing that in spite of the fact that WWF didn't really want to fucking do anything with him.
Right.
It's why the fuck should I keep myself fit? And you're just fine, you want me to just go out there and lose matches? Fine, I'll go out there and do it. Whatever, fuck this place,
Right.
But
yeah, it was.
We've seen that kind of shit. Him body slamming Bam Bam.
Yeah, that was cool.
I remember, dude.
So what do you remember from this match?
There was a funny moment. I remember when Tatanka came out, my cousin wouldn't wave the the thing, and I seen everybody else in the audience that had those phone things wave. I was like, well, fuck, if he ain't gonna wave it, I'll wave it. And I started waving it along with the.
Hell yeah.
And, I remember at one point you could see the match really breaking loose, everybody was fighting, and I remember I yelled out a yeehaw, and right when I said that the yeehaw, the Head Shrinkers did a double super kick to one of the Smoke Guns, oh shit.
Right.
It was yeehaw! Oh shit.
Yeah, this match went on for, let's see, 11 minutes and 15 seconds.
Yeah.
And they ended up defeating Bam Bam Bigelow and the Head Shrinkers.
Yes, sir.
In that match. Let's see here. Says this. Tatanka seized the opportunity and pinned Samu for the win, which is pretty cool. And then before the main event, which we'll get into in a minute, there was a Japanese guy singing the anthem. And then they had another guy singing as well, and Macho Man Randy Savage came out.
Yeah.
Okay. The guy's name is Aaron Neville.
Neville.
Yeah, Neville, who sang the American anthem as well. So we had a Japanese guy sing it.
He did a damn good job singing the anthem.
And they came out. They had the American flags and all that stuff, which I thought was pretty cool. It's cool to see the Macho Man out there.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
Well, I was going to say before we got into that about that 6-man tag match.
Yes.
The 6-man tag match was good, but the way they were building up a feud between Tatanka and Bam Bam.
Right.
And I thought it was weird that they put him in a 6-man tag. Like, you're building up a thing where they have beef with each other, but you're going to put them in a 6-man tag for the payoff. Like,
yeah, it would have been better if they would have just had a singles match, right?
Yeah, it would have been better if they would have had the match they wound up having at the 1994 Royal Rumble when Bam Bam subbed for Borga, and they like that would have been the perfect payoff. I felt like they should have just them work, 1-on-1, at SummerSlam, but it was cool adding the Smoking Guns and the Head Shrinkers to the deal, but I just felt like it would have meant more if they would have just had a 1-on-1 match deal.
Right. Yeah. I agree with that. That would have been good.
Well, like I said, the 6-man tag was good.
Right.
It was still, like you said, him body slamming them and then him getting the 1, 2, 3 was like, hell yeah.
Yeah, it was a good match. But here we go now. People were hitting now the 11th match, which is the main event. Now, this here is a singles match for the WWF Championship, and it said had Lex Luger lost, he would have never get another shot at the title as long as Yokozuna was champion. No,
not if he lost, but his deal was that was a one-time only shot for Lex Luger.
Well, that's what it says here, right?
But if he didn't win the WWF title,
right,
it would be his one and only title shot. Like, he would never get another title shot. And I remember thinking, like, okay, that's the deal. Lex is going to win. And you remember I was telling you about that guy that I was arguing with during Shawn Michaels and Mr. Perfect match?
Right.
He turned around and asked me, he's like, who are you rooting for this match? I'm like, oh, of course, Lex, man. He's like, all right, something we can finally agree on.
Yeah, that's cool. So this was a singles WWF singles match for WWF Championship between Lex Luger and Yokozuna, which had Mr. Fuji and Jim Cornette by their sides, which is cool. And what's cool about this was a long match, actually. This match went on for 17 minutes and 58 seconds.
Yeah.
Now imagine that. Somebody the size of Yokozuna can put on like a 20-minute match, but Brock Lesnar can't even put on a 3-minute match.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Ain't that something, though?
Yeah.
Now this match here, I thought it was a cool match, and they had a cool build-up, because beforehand, I believe they were saying for the 4th of July that Lex Luger body slammed.
They did a body slam challenge where they had the whole roster of WWF tried, and they had football players, everybody trying to body slam them. They had Crush, one of the Steiner brothers, I think both the Steiner brothers. They had a couple football players, and the only one that got kind of close to body slamming him, but his back gave out, was fucking Crush. Like, he had off his feet up, but then it's just like he couldn't go through with the slam. And,
right. It's just some dudes are too heavy. But in the beginning of the match, though, Luger did try to body slam Yokozuna, but his weight was too much, so he couldn't do it.
Also, it was during
at the beginning
of the match, they came out with the deal that Lex had to fucking put a cover thing on it over his forearm, like a pad over his forearm, because he had that steel plate in his forearm.
Right.
And they're like, well, he could use that as a legal weapon. We demand that he put on this padding so he can't use it. And
right.
Of course, near the finish of the match, he did use it. He finally, like when the referee was down, he pulled the pad off his arm and ran in. Bam.
Right.
The bad thing is it fucking knocked him out of the ring and knocked him out cold on the floor, and he fucking got a count. I remember being pissed. Like, I was like yelling, like, no, get him in the ring! Get him in the ring! And then everybody was just like blown away that, like, a count out? Like,
right.
I mean,
Lex Luger ended up beating Yokozuna, but it was another count out,
Yeah, it was a count out.
Like it was earlier with the Shawn Michaels match. That I was kind of like, what the hell?
Yeah, and not only that, but they threw like a celebration for Lex, like he won the championship. Like all the other, like Macho Man, Tatanka, all the good guys came out and were like, waving over his shoulder, dropping fucking red, white, and blue balloons.
Right.
Like, he didn't win the title though.
Yeah.
Why y'all celebrating like he won the fucking title? He didn't win.
Isn't it crazy? He only defeated him by count out, so it's...
Yeah, and they're celebrating like he won the fucking championship.
Right, like he's like... well, like you said a while back, they tried to build Lex like a Hulk Hogan.
Yeah,
it's crazy. But
Yeah.
sometime during the match, Yokozuna had his manager, Mr. Fuji, throw him a salt bucket, which he used to attack Luger.
Yeah.
So he got attacked by that. Also, Fuji threw that white powder at Lex, but Lex dodged it.
Yeah, it hit Yoko.
But at the end of the match, right at the end, Luger did succeed in body slamming Yokozuna.
Yeah.
And he attacked Mr. Fuji.
Yeah, and then,
when the manager tried to get involved.
He pulled down that padding and fucking nailed Yoko in the head and knocked him to the floor. Says
Luger knocked Yokozuna out of the ring with the forearm smash. Followed this up by attacking Jim Cornette. Yokozuna was counted out, but it says he retained the title because championships only change hands by pinfall or submission. But they made, like you said, they made Lex Luger like he won everything,
Yeah, and like I was like, what the fuck? And then you know what? They wound up doing that like big finish again like that, but it wasn't. They did that for Bret Hart when he finally beat Yoko for the title at WrestleMania 10. 94. Like, they all came out and did the same kind of thing. They all put them up over their shoulders and was like, yeah,
right. So, it also says several faces came to the ring to celebrate with Luger as red, white, and blue balloons fell from the ceiling to celebrate the victory.
Yeah.
But, and then after that was the end. All in all, I would say it was a good SummerSlam.
Yeah.
There's not really any match on here that really stood out as like, oh man, this was fantastic. I did like out of all the matches, which ones did you like the most?
Oh shit, I like the like I said, the Bret Hart, Doink, and Jerry Lawler matchup.
Agreed, that was one of the better ones.
That was a good storyline to tell. Like
definitely.
Jerry Lawler coming out there acting like he's hurt, and that fucking story he gave about like, I involved a 10-car pileup. I crawled my way out of the flaming wreckage.
Right.
Yeah, you went through all that, and all you got is a bandaged up.
And I also like the 6-man tag team match with Tatanka and the Smoking Guns.
Yeah.
Against Bam Bam and the Head Shrinkers.
I like that match, but like I said, I rather preferred it to be
a singles match.
A singles match between Tatanka and Bam Bam.
Let's see. The Steiner Brothers versus the Heavenly Bodies. I'd like that match as well.
Yeah. I like because it was surprising because like that really showed how good of a tag team the Heavenly Bodies really were when they could get in the ring and compete against a legendary team like Rick and Scott Steiner and hold pace with them.
Right. Now after that whole event, once Lex defeated Yokozuna by count out and they let the balloons go, what happened afterwards? Because that was it. That was the end. Did everybody leave or did people stay for a while?
I don't know about everybody else, but I know me and my cousins got up and left, and we wound up walking out to the parking lot, getting in the little van that he had at the time, and went on home, and got home, was telling my mom and dad, like, I went to SummerSlam.
Now, do you remember how much was that ticket?
Oh, it wasn't much, dude. Like, because of the seats we got.
Right.
I think they were only like $25 or something like that.
It's probably like way higher than that now, obviously, 30 years later.
Yeah, everything has gone up to $30.
Right. But all in all, did you ever pick that event up on like VHS afterwards?
You know what? I never did. Like I remember I picked up a tape. It was an old WWF tape. They had some matches on, but they had the Lex Luger Yokozuna match on there.
Right.
Like I remember watching some of the SummerSlam matches on YouTube. I always watched to see if I could see myself anywhere.
And speaking of that, I believe I did see you at one point for like 1 or 2 seconds during the Lex Luger and Yokozuna match. They panned all the way back and they went up to where you were talking about where you were at, and they showed like a big American flag that they had back there, and I looked to the right and I noticed, I said, man, that looks like my buddy Joe. I said, damn, I wonder if that's him. Because there's two people.
I was there.
Right, I know you were there, but I wonder if you were there at that spot, because there was two people that looked like you. There was somebody that in a gray shirt, and then I noticed somebody on the left with glasses in a black shirt, and I'm like, damn, they both look like him. I wish it would have got a little bit closer so I could see better on who that is, but you're going to have to check that out sometime, and maybe you could be like, oh yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was cool, man. Good event. And that's old school, and a lot of these wrestlers now have passed away.
Passed away, or they just, look at some of the wrestlers who went on to do, totally different gimmicks later on.
Right. It's pretty wild.
Fatu from the Head Shrinkers, he later on became Rikishi.
Right. Yokozuna passed away a long time ago.
Yeah. Big Borga killed himself.
Yeah. Luna Vachon is gone. Bam Bam's gone.
Yeah.
Razor Ramon, gone. Owen Hart, gone.
Gigolo Jimmy Del Rey of the Heavenly Bodies, gone.
Let's see, Mr. Perfect, he passed away. Let's see here, Dwight the Clown, he's still around, right?
No, the guy that originally did
passed.
Matt Bourne, he's dead.
Okay, yeah. Half the roster on this. What about Giant Gonzalez?
He's dead.
Yeah, half the roster pretty much, I'd say, is gone.
Yeah.
That's wild. Man, unbelievable. What about Barry Horowitz? What's he been up to?
He actually wrestled a match not too long ago, from what I've seen.
Oh wow, okay, so he's still around.
They did a match where on Impact that caught it on YouTube where they called him out. This guy's trying to do a gimmick where to get a world title shot, he has to get 50 wins in a row. And they're like, all right, well, we're going to set the course for you. We're going to give you an easy start-off match. And they brought out Barry Horowitz, and the guy was on the verge of winning, but think something happened. He got distracted, and Barry Horowitz pulled off the win, and he went back and was telling Santino Marella's in charge there now, I guess.
Also, Paul Bearer's gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 30 years ago. Yes, a lot happens in 30 years, which is wild. Is there anything else that you can remember that stands out for you during that event? Anything like beforehand or after or during?
I just remember being excited and yelling so much. During the Yokozuna-Lex Luger match, there was a few times where I started a big USA chant. Like the fans were like clamoring, like Lex was getting beat at one point, and I yelled out USA. Before you know it, the whole crowd just lit up with USA, USA.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
I was like, hell yeah! To know I started that chant was like, hell yeah.
Oh yeah, but it had to have been exciting. You were like 15 years old or 14 at the time.
Yeah, like I said, my first ever wrestling event ever going to in my life.
Right, and how many have you been since?
I went to a couple WWE live events that, around here but it was like non-televised deals. It was just like, they throw like a kind of like a live Monday Night Raw without cameras and stuff, but
right.
It was cool. Like, we got some really good seats where I was sitting like just to the second row, and like you could get up and go to the barricade when the wrestlers would come out. And I had the funniest experience. I actually got punked out by Chris Masters.
Really? What year was this?
I think it was 2013.
Okay.
I remember going and we went there, and Chris Masters was coming out, and who was he taking on? Oh yeah, he was taking on. Speaking of Santino, that's who he took on, and fucking he was coming out, and I was standing there by the barricade, and he walked like right up to me, like face to me, like kind of like staring me down, and I kind of froze up, didn't know really what to do, like really what to say, like shit, like, and I just kind of like reached my hand out for him, like, hey, I'm cool, man, you're cool. he just looked down at my hand, gave me a look like, get out of here, kid, and just walked away, he turned his back on me. It would have been funny. I should have jumped over the barricade and, oh yeah.
Yeah, then you would have had security beat your ass.
And get one of those crazy fans that you see getting their ass whooped, like
right, carried out of there.
Yeah,
so that's crazy. So that was the last wrestling event you've been to?
No, I went to one other in another event they had. I want to say it was like a year or so later that they came back around this year, and they had I don't remember the name of it. It was like, it was John Cena against Dolph Ziggler.
Okay.
Yeah.
But as far as any big events, have you been to any Royal Rumbles or WrestleManias?
Never got the chance to. The only event I ever went to was SummerSlam in '93.
What about WCW events?
I had the opportunity to fucking go to a WCW event, but I guess it got screwed up the last minute because
bummer.
But whatever.
That's all good. Things happen. But is there anything else you want to add about SummerSlam 1993 before we wrap this one up?
I remember the next day. I remember for next day or two not having no voice. I lost my voice.
It makes sense. You yelling that much, huh?
Well, dude, obviously you're live in there, and you're all these wrestlers that you watched on TV are coming out and wrestling.
Right.
You're like, yeah.
Hell yeah. Who were your favorites back then during that time?
Well, obviously, my one favorite was Tatanka. He was cool as hell. I mean, Lex Luger doing his Made in the USA gimmick, that was cool. And, Razor Ramon.
Oh, yeah. I like Razor.
The bad guy, Chico.
Oh, yeah. He is the bad guy.
Yeah.
So,
you ever remember seeing a commercial with, they were doing like an anti-smoking commercial with Razor, and he's like talking about like, you don't suck on those cigarettes, he sucks on the toothpicks, man. And
I don't remember that.
He flicked it at a camera and goes, "Smokers are losers."
Oh yeah, I'll have to check that out because I don't remember that.
I think it's something I vaguely remember watching. I mean, I didn't watch a whole lot of the, we call it like the gimmick shit. Like I was always about the wrestling, but sometimes I'd see one that would be funny. That one always stood out. He's like, "Smokers are losers."
Oh yeah, man. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. I hope you guys enjoyed taking a trip back down memory lane with this old school WWF SummerSlam 1993 review, which took place on August 30th, 1993 at the Palace of Auburn Hills in Auburn Hills, Michigan.
Yeah.
Good stuff, man.
Guess what? Not only that, dude, you want to know what was funny? I just realized?
Yeah.
Going to that event was the last day before we went back to school.
Oh, okay, cool. Then, yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I remember you telling me when you came to school, you're saying, "Hey, look, check this out." You were showing me your ticket.
Yeah.
And you were like, "Man, I went to SummerSlam. It was cool." Yeah, and I remember asking you questions about that.
My throat hurts.
Yeah, I remember that. And didn't you say you? I know you used to have that ticket for the longest time, and you may still have that ticket.
I still have it somewhere. I just don't. I mean, I carried it in my wallet for like the longest time.
Right, I remember that.
Like I think I finally gave up my old wallet, moving all the stuff to a new wallet. I think some of the tickets I put it. I know I would have never threw them away.
Right. So it's got to be somewhere.
Yeah. I'll find it one day.
When you do, man, send me a picture because that's old school awesomeness. But
bro.
Hell yeah. Anyways, we're gonna wrap this one up.
Yes, sir.
We hope you guys enjoyed. And yeah, that was our full review on WWF SummerSlam 1993.
Sorry that I couldn't have been, remember more of it, but like you said, the hell, that was 30 years ago.
No, that's all good.
Like we didn't have these phones like we have now, where I could have took video and
all that fun stuff.
I do remember I did have a camera, like a disposable camera. I took pictures, but when I got all the film developed, you could barely see anything.
Oh, do you still have those pictures?
Yeah, I got them somewhere.
Oh man, yeah, I would love to see those one day, man.
All it is just mostly like you can barely see the small.
Well, right, because you were far back and above.
Yeah, but, you know what? I'll look for those one day, and I know I got them still.
That's awesome, man. But yeah,
it was funny. I remember the camera I had at the time. It was a Hulk Hogan camera.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, but they made it to where every time you took a picture and the picture come out, like Hulk Hogan would appear in the picture, like
oh wow,
like doing his shirt tearing and shit, like I was like that's pretty cool.
Hell yeah, right on. Yeah, that's a nice old school awesomeness and a trip down memory lane.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, let's wrap this one up. We hope you guys enjoyed. We're out of here, and until next time.
Well, I'll catch y'all on the next one.
Hell yeah. We're out of here, and see you later.
Later.
Peace.